unrelated to the 86 life, but currently heading over to meet a person I met and gonna pick up some new tires for my Tahoe. So hopefully, or some new wheels since I cracked the other two, and hopefully that'll all go smooth. Update when I get them. So everything went well. Picked up 2 new tires, the other one's in the back. Now I can stop running spares on this thing, and hopefully I can get home on that one. So, yeah, not really AE86 related, but car related nonetheless. So, hey guys, welcome to another episode of AE86 Life, and today I'm finally in my shop, and we're gonna do a quick tour of my setup. So I figured you guys might want to see my current Corolla's state, or my first Corolla state, one of my 3, and take a little tour around my shop. And even though it's extremely messy right now and things are still getting organized, I figured a little tour wouldn't hurt. So here we have my 85 SR5 that is currently in the process of being GTS swapped. Here's the interior. Carb went bad on it, and I have a GTS that's running and driving, so I figured, you know, might as well just start the GTS swap on this guy. I've got everything for it except for the motor, and today we're gonna also be doing the part of the fuel lines down here. We're gonna at least try to get some of that done. Over here we got the workbench. Here, extra tools, heater, bolts and screws, nuts, all Corolla stuff right there. Corolla fasteners and etc. My toolbox, wall of fun, Torino. Anyways, so yeah, this is my 86. It's on restored SSR Mach 2s. It is also has a Zenki Torino front bumper. Let's see, with the Zenki lip right there. Kind of hard to see. And yes, it still is 4EC, but that's what the GTS swap's going to do for us, is get that motor out of there. The interior I already showed you. Other than that, there's not much to what's my shop here, but you'll be seeing this in more upcoming videos. It's just either shop talk or whatever it might be. But yeah, this is the AE86 life right here. This is how we have to live it. Here we are underneath the 86. As you can see here, these are the GTS hard lines. All of the SR5 hard lines have been pulled from their respective connectors, as well as the gas tank, since everything is going to be GTS, including the hard lines and tank. So it seems like to get past the transmission, we're going to have to at least unbolt the trans brace right here to get these lines to feed through. Now I might be able to sneak it by and unbolt just those 2 bolts and see if maybe I can just slide them and slip them through. But the easiest way to go about this is obviously not so easy. In the perfect world, we could just slide all this through without having to take anything off. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world, so we're gonna have to probably take some stuff off. Let's see what I can come up with. Hopefully something. We got the rear, sort of the rear end, rather, of the fuel lines finessed into place-ish. at least enough to where they can be bolted down into their brackets. You can see that they are somewhat roughly in place. They're probably going to need a little finagling to get properly placed, but maybe we can bolt these at least these two down correctly. These two over here. That way that there's a somewhat supportive backbone to the fuel lines over there, not just flopping everywhere as I try to install them. Let's see what we can do. So we're back at a sort of square one. Don't know if you guys can see that, but we're about ready to fully mount the lines, or fully position them rather. Had to drop the trans brace, have the jack holding the trans up. Then hopefully we're gonna push them back this way to get them to feed up over the exhaust and up towards the side of the car where the fuel filter bolts in. A lot of 10 millimeters, 14s. That's about really it. So yeah, having a lot of fun on this one, believe it or not. It's actually pretty fun time. So be back in a moment. Hopefully we get all that mounted up, and then I'll do a video of it all seated. All right, so now we got the lines seated properly. That bolt right there is holding the center. I'm getting ready to tighten all the bolts down there. And let's hope they all made up properly to the mounting points right here. There's a little 10 millimeter bolt that goes through here into that, and then uses these clips. And sometimes it takes a little bit of finesse and bending to get them to go in correctly. But other than that, we're almost there with the fuel lines and brake lines. The hard lines, I guess I should call them. But yep, and then that's gonna be part one of GTS swap done as soon as we get the tank up. So, you know, I already got the LSD rear end, and then more than likely this is gonna become a one piece. But yeah, and then I'll update with finished product. Everything should be okay up there, at least I'm hoping. Might take a little bit of bending correctly to get the fuel filter to mount to its proper mounting spot, but other than that, things are starting to go somewhat smoothly. But I'm probably going to redact that statement here soon, knowing 86s. So we're back, and now we're joined by Justin, who's underneath the 86, and we are shit.
Tipping drills over.
Yeah, tipping those over, and the progress so far is actually pretty good. So the entirety from this bolt to the rear is all bolted up now, finally. The only problem we have left now is doing the trans tunnel, the mounts by the trans, and then making sure the fuel filter fits correctly. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in an hour, maybe. Now that we have all the fuel lines bolted in and mounted correctly, our trouble is finding where, or how rather, to mount the fuel filter itself to the engine bay, or the frame, when the bracket is too long for the bolt holes that are in the bay. So, okay, so we got the fuel filter bolted in, at least enough for tonight. It has one bolt in it currently, enough to hold it, and probably figure out that problem later. So yeah, let's get back to work underneath the car. Okay, so now all of the fuel lines are completely bolted up end to end, all the way to the filter. As you can see now, in the next part of this is going to be installing the GTS fuel tank, which is going to be right here, and then dealing with that clip right, or that mounting point right there. It's kind of kittywampus and needs to be adjusted, and as well as the lines on that part. Shout out to Justin for helping me out today. And that's the AE86 life.